In this video, we'll set up live view for shooting both stills and video. I'm using the 1D Mark IV for this demonstration, and your choices will of course be limited to the camera you're using, so please check to see that the items you wish to effect are in fact available for your camera. We'll be photographing the interior of my consultation room using a couple of battery-powered Lowell tungsten lights with snoots on them for a narrow focused light pattern which is only affecting the camera. Let's go to the Remote Live View window, click the Setup menu, and select Live View Movie Function Setup. Select the stills, click on the Enable button, and then select OK. First, we'll adjust our composition using the Grid function. Click the Composition Grid button, and you'll have two default selections available, the 3x3 and the 6x4 grid. You can also choose to customize your own grid function for the number of lines, and also set the width and the color of the line. I normally prefer to work with the visually simpler 3x3 grid, but for this photo we'll select the 6x4 grid because of the very distinct vertical and horizontal lines in this shot. Once you're satisfied with the composition, we'll set our focus by selecting Focusing using Live View mode. Select Live Mode from the list box, drag the enlargement display frame to move it to the position where you want to focus, click the On button, and when focus is achieved, the camera will make a beeping sound and the autofocus point turns green. If focus is not achieved, the autofocus point turns red. You can also manually focus. Click on the magnifier button and the selection that you chose in step 1 is displayed enlarged at 100%. which is the actual pixel size in the zoom view window. To move the display position in the zoom view window, click on the arrows. You can also move the display position by dragging the window. You can also checkmark the Maintain Zoom View to maintain a display of the zoom view window. Double-click on the image in the zoom view window to return to the Remote Live View window. You can also checkmark 200% to view the selection enlarged to 200%. You can also adjust the focus by clicking on the arrows under the live mode. The 3-arrow adjustment is a large amount, the 2-arrow adjustment is a medium amount, and the 1-arrow adjustment is a small amount. Another way you can adjust focus is by using the keyboard adjustments. To adjust focus a large amount, select the I key to move it closer and the O key to move it further away. For a medium amount, hit the K key to move it closer and the L key for further away. For a small amount of fine adjustment, hit the left arrow key to move it closer and the right arrow key to move it further away. You can also turn the focus ring directly on the lens while viewing your results on the computer. To enable live depth of field preview, click on the button under the depth of field preview window. The view appears on screen. If the exposure simulation is turned off, with most EOS models, it'll activate on its own when you click the depth of field button. Next, we'll set our exposure. The aperture value and exposure simulation is set in the capture window. Our track lights are creating the ambient light in the room, and the spots on our prints are for our base exposure. Since I want the camera to be the brightest spot in the image, I want the main light source to be about 1 to 2 stops brighter than the background. So we'll turn the power up on our snooted Lowell lights until I achieve the look that I want. To perform live view exposure simulation, click Enable and adjust the exposure up or down. You'll see the histogram move in real time. Let's set up a kicker light on the right side of the camera for separation from the background and the walls. I'll adjust the power of the light until I get the look that I'm looking for. Then take a test shot to confirm your exposure. Next, we'll move on to correcting our white balance by clicking on the eyedropper and set a custom white balance. I like to get the exposure set up first so you can get an accurate color balance. We'll use the X-Rite color checker for our neutral point reference. Click on the Test Shooting button and then click on the gray patch with the eyedropper to adjust your color. And we'll take a test shot, and we'll click the large button on the right, Apply to Camera and Execute Test Shooting. The camera takes another test image with the correction applied. The camera will now be set for your custom white balance, and the correct color balance will be applied to your captured images. After this is all set and your color is still off, you may need to go back and refine your exposure adjustment. Press the shutter button to shoot. The image taken is transferred to the computer and Digital Photo Professional starts automatically and displays the image. In the initial setup, you already chose a destination folder and saved your images to both the camera and the computer. Now we'll set up for video. Adjusting your camera controls for video is the same as in the still selections. Since we've already adjusted the camera for color balance, focus, and exposure, we won't have to do it again. First, we'll have to enable a camera for video. Setup varies depending on the camera model. If you have a camera model with a video mode on the mode dial, please make sure it's set to video. Go back to the Setup menu in the Camera Settings remote shooting window and click on the Live View Movie Function Set in the Setup menu. The Live View Movie Function Set window appears. You'll select Movies and then select the movie recording size from the list box. I'll select 1920 by 1080 for maximum resolution. Make sure you have the appropriate frames per second set on your camera. We'll use 24 frames per second for a filmic look. Click on the OK button and a Live View Movie Function Set window closes. The Remote Live View window appears. Let's focus, and then we'll click on the red button and begin shooting. When video is active, at the bottom left of the Remote Live View window, by the red circular icon, the resolution, frame rate, and recording time are displayed. Click on the recording button again to shoot. Click once more on the recording button to end the shooting. When the Remote Live View window closes, the following window appears if some image data remains to be downloaded to your computer. After you click the download button, the file names of the movies shot will appear in a list. When you're finished recording, go back to the main EOS utility menu, press Select and Download Images to transfer your video files to your computer. The main difference between shooting stills and video is that you cannot record video directly to your computer, so you must record video to a memory card in your camera and then transfer the files to your computer. So that's all there is to it.